Hi, welcome to Cocoknits. I am going to talk to you today about Intarsia. This is my 9-patch cardigan and it uses Intarsia, which is a way of working with color. Unlike Fair Isle, you're using one color at a time across each row. You're not carrying any of these colors. So you've got blocks of color, each worked separately, and the way you do this is to wrap the yarns around each other when you switch colors, so that it connects them. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm also going to show you how to work in your ends as you go. So this looks like, it would be a nightmare if you had to work all these ends in after the fact. I'm going to show you how I do that as I work. So here is a closer look at the Intarsia inside and out. So you're just working with one color at a time and dropping it. And you do have all these tails, but I'm going to show you how to work those in as you go. So the way you do this is you're going to knit with one color, drop that color, pick up the new color. So I'm going to knit across here to where my color change happens. And you just want to make sure when you drop your old color, the color you've been working with, and you pick up your new color, you just want to make sure that you bring the new color up over the old color and then start with it. And that's it. You've just locked them in the back by twisting them that way. And you carry on with this color until the next color change. And then again, we're going to drop the old color. Here's the new one I'm going to start to work with. So I'm going to drop the pink one, bring the new one up over the old one. And carry on, and that is basically how you work Intarsia. So on the back side, it's going to be the same idea. You're going to purl right over to where you're going to make the color change. And when you drop the color you've been working with and pick up the new color, just make sure you come up over your old color with your new color, and you can kind of tighten those up as you come to them. And again, coming up on another color change, just drop the old color, and when you pick up the new one, just make sure you come up over the one you finished with. And then you've got them twisted, and that is what connects the colors to each other. Okay, I am ready to start my next block of colors, and I'm going to show you how to work in the ends, but before I do, I want to talk about yarn management, about how to wrangle all of these yarns. You can see sometimes, this may not be the project you're doing, but sometimes when you're working in Intarsia, you have a lot of colors, different colors to carry across. If it's just one or two colors, you could leave the yarn strands connected to the ball and it wouldn't be so much to manage. But when you've got a lot of colors that you're carrying across one row, traditionally back in the day, especially with Argyle socks, bobbins were used where you would wind the yarn around something. I hated using those because they were always getting all tangled up at the back, wrapping around each other. And so what I do is just, I don't do anything. I figure out how much yarn I'm going to need for each square. And what I determined for these is that about 2.5 yards per square was enough yarn. So what I did was take a little tape measure, hold this end to the tip of my nose, pull my arm out, and for me that's 29 inches from nose tip to all the way to the end of my arm is about 29 inches. So then I just say, and for you it may be a different number, whatever it is. Mine is 29. If I know I need 2.5 yards roughly, if I take this, well, you can do it the other way, 2.5 yards, right, times 36 inches, I need about 90 inches of length for each block, give or take. And if I divide that by I'm getting 29 inches when I pull a strand out to my nose, I found if I went a generous 3 times, get the glare on that, from my nose tip out, nose tip out, nose tip out, and cut that strand, I would be good. And I just was a bit on the generous side, and I found that worked fine. And then you've got all of these strands, sometimes, a lot of them tangling up behind as you're working along. And this is what I learned from Kay Fassett way back when, 50 to 100 colors in a sweater was a thing back in the 80s, maybe early 90s. Just let them hang back there. And if they start to get all tangled, I don't have much left, so that's not much of a tangle, and you really it's driving you nuts and you need to pull some more slack out, just grab that kind of knot of them all tangled or the tangle and just pull out the color that you want to work with out from the tangle, and usually that works fine. And I would rather just have all the strands. I don't care if they get tangled in behind there. I just pull them out as I need them, and before you know it, you're 12 rows up and you're going to switch colors anyway. So why set up a whole new set of bobbins or have all those balls attached? So that's how I wrangle the yarn as I go along.